Today we'll be talking about Andrew Tate again and why these human trafficking allegations might actually hold some weight. I'm Rugbird.
And I'm Pickled Landed.
And this is Tombstone Tourist. We have what seems to be a reoccurring topic here at Tombstone Tourist, which is Andrew Tate. And we've had some leaked text messages that might carry some weight and might show that, there might be a little fire where the smoke's at and, that there might be some truth to these allegations.
Yeah, it's a shocker. Nobody saw this coming.
We're not going to read the whole thing because admittedly, some of these texts are rather poorly written, I would say.
Well, most text messages are. It's not something that's easily read.
Yeah.
Just even go through anybody's personal text, it's like, oh, this is bad grammar all the way through.
Very just casual kind of conversation, but we've selected a few key moments, and we'll provide pictures of the whole conversation in the video if you guys care to take the time to read the full context and everything. But we've selected some key things that we felt kind of stood out and kind of give light into why we think Tate might actually be in some trouble, and maybe also shed light onto why the Romanian government is still holding him.
Yeah, and they definitely, for some of the context here, this text chain is between one of the girls at the house and her father and her mother. The father and the mother are sharing a phone, switching back and forth. One of the messages that kind of starts to paint a picture is this one right here, where it says, Tristan and his brother are terrible. The dad says, be very careful. Talk to the American embassy. They are definitely trafficking women. The dad responds. Yeah. The dad responds, I told you, now try to get out of there quietly. You can tell that there's an element of fear here for the girls, right? I'm trying to paint this picture where they feel scared to leave, but they want to leave.
Now, it is also fair to point out, we don't know if it's fear necessarily in terms of like maybe being beaten, or whether it's fear and just like, we're not sure exactly what they're afraid of happening, but we can only imagine. And either way, if there's fear, it's alarming to say the least. And it's kind of showing a bunch of red flags. We don't know necessarily what repercussions they're afraid of, but I mean, you have to imagine there has to be some kind of, whether it be financial, physical, or all of the above, there's some kind of repercussions coming their way.
And like you said, you can't prove it, but they feel a fear of a threat. Some type of threat, some type of repercussion if they do leave. It comes down to the point where they even talk about portraying an act to keep an illusion, so that when they finally do make their plan to leave, which is going to be at night when everybody's asleep, that they can do it unseen without anybody else. And they also bring up that the other girls in the house are kind of brainwashed.
Do you think it's possible they might be fearing retaliation from the other women even, perhaps? Or do you think it's solely just the Tate brothers?
I think they fear it from everyone in the house.
Oh, okay.
Like, she even brings up here, oh my God, I realized within the past 12 hours, 12 hours, we realized that this is trafficking. She's admitting she even didn't realize that she was under this illusion. Kind of the stuff that Andrew Tate talks about when he's getting them into the mindset to be like these webcam girls.
So they were just kind of like sold this dream is what I can imagine possibly, and they see the lifestyle, the money, the rich guy, and then they're kind of biting off on it. And it wasn't until they've been in this situation for an extended period of time that they're like, oh, we have messed up.
Yeah, it was a late to the game realization.
Yeah.
And it's nothing on them, because she's admitting the other girls in the house are still under this perception that this is for their best interest and stuff like that. When at the end of the day, they are kind of being, at least from the viewpoint of the parents and the embassy and stuff, that they're being used basically for the Tate brothers to get money off of sexual exploitation.
We had another spot highlighted, I believe, if I'm not mistaken,
where she just kind of talks about like the best actress prize. They're talking back and forth. So this text chain is between the girl that was talking to her parents and another girl in the house that she's trying to liberate with her, because they're both kind of realized what's happening to them.
Yeah.
And so they're discussing, kind of going back and forth, like, maintain the illusion. Don't let them know that you're upset. Let them think that we're in love with them, that we're still on their side. We just don't like how the situation goes. It's almost like how somebody would temper a parent that's violent. We're going to do it this way so that they don't do something to us in return, so that we can get what we need, which in this case is freedom. They're just trying to get out. There was one more in here, like right here, where she says, play the victim. I mean, we are, but act like we still love them and stuff. Ha ha ha. I mean, we are. Wait, what? That's kind of the end of that. But you just get little hints and pieces through here of.
Well, that one kind of seems odd because it says play the victim.
Yeah, I think when she says play the victim, she's basically just implying don't let on that you're upset. Play the part all the way through. Don't break. Don't falter.
I could see it from that angle as well.
Don't say you're going to do all this stuff, and then when it comes time to leave, you'll go back into the mindset of the other girls and be like, well, no, it is kind of good. Yeah. You have to keep in mind, there is a lot of money to be made there. there. It's not like there isn't some type of drive to be like, well, maybe I should stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like somebody's out there just being tortured. It's the nature of what's going on is
problematic.
It's problematic. They're like, am I doing the right thing? Am I not?
Now that this is broken, do you think charges are here to be soon coming forth, or do you think that they're still putting in work to uncover more stuff?
I think charges are going to come. They may have released this because we know that he was being held like the 180-day pretrial detention. And we know that that's being viewed as corrupt. So maybe they released this to show we do have reason to hold him. That this isn't just hacked up, made up charges that we're throwing out there.
I would enjoy to see charges come before he's held much longer, though, just on the fact it doesn't sit right with me, the fact someone's being held without charges. I just would like to see some charges actually hit on him.
And we've touched on that before. Like, we have to be objective. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what somebody feels, it's what you can prove. Despite what you think about somebody, you can't hold them on an idea or just without concrete proof that they did something.
You definitely have to, I feel like, get charged with something, or there's a certain amount of time. And I feel like they've already hit kind of an uncomfortable amount of time without charging him. If he's done this, I definitely want to see him, see his day and everything. And that's okay. I really don't like him being held without a charge. So I think that what they need to do is they need to hurry up. If they have enough for charges, go ahead and do it. But we live in America, so we don't run by the same standards as them. Obviously, they run things a little bit differently over there. And they could just be trying to get everything in order to make sure they don't have a weak case, I suppose. At the same time, I would kind of like to see some charges come forth. And if he is like doing this to these women on some really horrible stuff, he definitely does deserve to go to jail for a little bit.
But it's when you prove that. The flight risk excuse is viable, but this man is so popular, finding him in the world is not going to be hard either. So I think even letting him stay in America,
I could argue that a little bit. He has money. He can go hide somewhere. He's not going to run out of resources anytime soon.
I would say that if they're going to keep dragging it like this, if they want him in jail, let him stay in detention in America, like let him, or in England or wherever he's from. This is text messages. And like, while it might prove something, like anybody can type anything into a phone. It
is hearsay. Yeah. So at the same time, it's not enough concrete proof. And then at the same time as well, even if they're saying they're brainwashed, it is possible that they're on some like self-destructive. We don't know if they had an argument with them or whatnot. So there would need to be some more hard evidence. Whatever they're doing is definitely shady. And like I said, there's definitely a lot of smoke. So I'm sure there's fire somewhere. It's just a matter of them finding some more solid stuff. And, this case will keep developing and we'll just have to see where it goes from here. Do you have any final thoughts on this whole situation?
Oh man, honestly, I think it's wild and just keeps getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, and with that, we'd like to know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think these texts are pretty damning? Do you think charges are going to come up soon, or are you guys still riding for Andrew Tate? Let us know down in the comments below. I'm Rugburn.
And I'm Pickled Landon.
And this is Tombstone Tourist.